remember when I was a kid being at my grandma's house, strange things would always happen. Everything would always be normal other places I would be at. It was always just at my grandma's where things would get creepy. My family knew I hated being there, but they would always just tell me to get over it. There were many occurrences such as hearing movement in other rooms when I would be home alone. There was also scratchiness on the cupboards in the kitchen, and I also remember times when I would be in the bathroom and hearing someone trying to say things to me. I remember a time when I was laying down in the room and I thought I heard something. I knocked 2 times on my wall, and I heard someone knock 2 times back. This would always happen when I would be there alone. There was one time, though, that completely made me not want to go back at all. I was with my grandma and she tells me that she was going to the store nearby because she had to buy food to make for dinner that night. She insisted she would return no later than 2 hours, and I said okay. She left, and I just stayed in the room watching TV. About 30 minutes passed, and I sort of felt someone touch my shoulder. I turned around and saw nothing. My hairs on my arm were standing up and I was starting to get the chills. I then turned off the TV and saw it. On the reflection of the powered off television was showing an older woman with white hair and a white dress standing right behind me. I let out a yell as I turned around and saw nobody there. I ran outside and waited for my grandma in the front yard as she came about 40 minutes later. She saw me crying and walked me inside and said, "See, nobody's there. It's okay." That story happened about 10 years ago, but I still think about it here and there. It's crazy because no one believes me, not even her. Although at times my grandma would randomly bring it up to me and say, "Hey, remember when you were home alone that day and you saw that woman?" I remember when I was younger, about 13, my mom's would sometimes be gone for the weekend and leave me with the house to myself. She told me on a Tuesday that she would be gone on Friday and be back Sunday morning. Being at that age at the time, I would be excited. I would pretty much do what I want and stay up as late as I want. The first night on Friday was cool. I ate lots of food and watched a lot of shows on Netflix and had the TV on extremely loud. However, it was the second night that forever haunts me, and to this day I sometimes sit and think about it all the time. It was around 10 p.m. and I was upstairs in my room. The house will sometimes make noises, but it would always do that, whether it be cats on the roof or just the fridge running. I was just laying on my bed watching a funny movie when my eyes were starting to close in the room. I sometimes try to fight my sleep, which makes me even more tired. I'm one of those people that aren't afraid of the dark, so I got up and turned off the hallway light, then my bedroom light. I fell asleep pretty fast. I woke up randomly, I would say around 1 a.m. I sort of felt like something woke me up, or someone. I look around my room and see all black since it was dark. I then look at my bedroom door, which was wide open, and in the hallway was a large man staring at me. I let out a scream of terror and the man continued to stare at me. He was wearing all black and had on a beanie. He stares at me for another 20 seconds while I'm started crying of fear. He then slowly turns towards the stairs and walks out. I'm panicking because I don't know if he's still in the house or if there's some other people with him. I lay in my bed terrified for about 30 minutes with my heart racing and my mind thinking the worst. Suddenly, I get the urge to get up and check around my house. I go down the stairs and see my sliding door to my backyard broken. Glass all over the floor. I'm really confused and disappointed at myself that I didn't hear it. I then call the cops and they come very fast. Then they call my mom and she calls a friend who comes and picks me up. I stay at my mom's friend for a few hours until she picked me up around 5 a.m. I didn't really stay home alone again until I was 16. I get paranoid. The craziest thing is that when I look at the man's face that night, he sort of looked familiar. Like a family or friend or something. All I got to say is, be careful on the people you meet. There was a time when it was just me living by myself for a good 2 years. It was just me and my good dog who we'll call Rex. I was living in a small apartment on the 3rd floor upstairs. My days would usually be chill. I would just work, come home, and watch TV for a bit, then sleep. On one specific day, it was my day off and I was just enjoying it with my dog watching a movie. It was around 6 p.m. and the sun was already coming down. Then it became dark. I've never really believed in ghosts or any of that stuff for that matter, until that day. It was already 8 p.m. and I was still in the living room watching TV when my dog's ears started to raise up, almost as if he heard something. He quickly goes straight to my bedroom and starts barking very hastily at the wall. It's like he was barking at someone, but no one was there. Then he starts barking in the corner of my room very loud. I just think my dog is tripping out, so I tell him very angrily to be quiet since my apartment doesn't allow pets. I pick him up and take him to the living room, but he gets out of my grip very aggressively and heads straight towards my bedroom. I was very annoyed and confused at this point, so I just let him bark, hoping he'll tire himself out. I sit on the couch in the living room while he continues, and then something very scary and unexpected happened. I heard my dog yell and cry as he was attacked by someone. I quickly jump up and run straight to my room where Rex was. I saw him shaking and limping very slowly. I'm very confused and I started to freak out. Out of panic and desperation, I yell out, "Who's there?" All I could hear was silence. I check under the bed and then my closet. Nothing. I started to feel like me and my dog weren't the only ones there. It then became very cold. This sounds crazy, but whatever was in there with us felt very evil. I grabbed my dog and went to a friend's house and then spent the night. I didn't ever believe in anything paranormal until that day happened.